And most of the time, the answer is a solid hell no.
I already don't like this. So I have kind of a love-hate relationship with TikTok. There's some really great videos that can teach you how to do just about anything, but let's face it, there's a lot of hot garbage in there too. And if you don't know any better, it's really hard to tell the garbage from the gems. Now, I've been helping small businesses with their digital marketing for over 10 years, and some of these TikToks are actively ruining people's businesses. So let's just jump into it.
I don't think anybody here is gonna like what's about to come out of my mouth. I want every person in this room after this conference to go home tomorrow and post somewhere between 8 and 15 pieces of content on LinkedIn, YouTube Shorts, Facebook, Instagram, Snap, TikTok, and I want you to do it every day.
Yeah, I've heard him say this kind of, it's Gary Vee. I've heard him say this kind of thing before, and honestly, while he's probably right on paper, talk about a recipe for burnout, right? No small business owner can possibly keep up with a strategy like that. So it's bad advice for that reason alone. I think what's gonna help the average business owner way more than just cranking out crazy amounts of content is to really concentrate on one weekly piece, whether it's a great article or better yet, a long form video or a podcast that can just go out there and develop a really strong connection with people, then turn around and then use an AI tool to find the best bits and pieces in that long form content to repurpose and post once a day across the various platforms that he's talking about. 8 to 15 pieces a day is just unrealistic. And unless you've got a team like Gary has, you're gonna start with the best of intentions and you'll quit in less than a month. Not sustainable.
Making a website for your service business is an absolute mistake, and here's why. Websites are expensive and time-consuming to maintain, and when you're out there running your business, the absolute last thing you need to be doing is spending time on your website trying to figure out the back end, etc.
Hard disagree. I mean, can we, first of all, just all agree that the right website that's set up correctly can be up there and bringing in leads for you? I'm telling you, I know that to be true. I see it every single day. So if you're too busy running your business to worry about your website, that is the ultimate argument for needing the kind of website that's gonna take some of the marketing and the selling off of your plate and basically put it into automation.
Instead, what you're going to do is create a business listing and then a service listing for each of the services that you provide. Then customers can go into your service listings and book an appointment with you without you having to do anything extra.
I'm really not even sure what she means here. Like, does she just mean to create this within your Google business profile? That's not gonna do the same thing as having a strategically formatted and worded website, period. Even if you set it up like she said, where they could book your service right from the listing, they won't, because you're giving them zero reasons to trust you or want to buy from you. And I'm sorry, this is 2024. You're telling me you as a business owner can just not have a website in 2024? How much would you trust a business that told you, okay, sorry, we don't have a website? To me, that's a business that sounds like they just opened up yesterday and they don't plan on being around tomorrow. Just terrible advice there. And speaking of websites, I think we have another website clip next.
Here are 5 things that every service-based business needs to include on their website. Real-world examples of your work, stats to back up the importance of your services, testimonials from your previous clients.
Okay, so far I agree with all of that.
Detailed application form for your services.
Whoa, wait a minute. Did you see that application form? Okay. This is where it gets into a major gray area. So yes, if you're trying to get appointments or bookings or consultations scheduled from your website, a form like this is one way to go, but not like this one. I wouldn't make a form this complicated ever unless you're super in demand as it is, and you're consciously trying to make people, jump through hoops so that you can weed out about 90% of your audience out of ever even contacting you. For almost any service business, I recommend asking them for their first name, their email address, possibly their phone number if you plan on calling them. And you can ask a more open-ended question like, what's this meeting going to be about? But even that question can make some people just freeze up if they don't have the words ready, and then they leave your website. It is considered best to ask 3 questions on a form, and it's actually been shown that asking even one more question drops your conversion rate in half.
Boost your local SEO with this special strategy. Create a Google Stack. A Google Stack involves creating content on all of Google's resources like Google Docs and Google PowerPoint and Google Sheets and Google Sites, filling all of those documents with keywords related to your business using the links generated from that content pool containing keywords and links back to your website. Google tends to index their own resources very quickly and potentially gives you a boost to your traffic.
What is he even talking about? So he's saying that if you make some Google Docs and Google spreadsheets where you use the keywords you want your website to be found for, and then put links to your website inside of Google Docs, that's somehow going to help your website rank. If only it were that easy, but no. Google might index certain Google Docs if they're made public and like linked to from other sites, but they wouldn't have any authority at all. This is just complete BS and a waste of time. I award it 0 points.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
I had my dad bring me to Bass Pro Shops. I bought those Bass Pro Shop hats that, everyone wears now. I got them for $4, and then I brought them to school with me. I took one of the hats. I gave it to the most popular kid in school. Everybody copied this kid. I recognized that at a young age, so I gave him this hat, and all of a sudden, everybody wants this hat. So I would go over to their lunch group, pull out my backpack, and just have 10 Bass Pro Shop hats on me that I bought for $4. And I'm like, hey, you want to look like Daniel? Buy them for $12. Actually,
I kind of like that. I mean, it's a funny story. I have no idea if it's true, but he's basically talking about influencer marketing here, right? So forget the fact that he did this in person at school, but just imagine if you can find, that cool kid who has a lot of influence with your ideal customers and pay them to, basically wear your hat and talk up your offer. The sway they have with your audience can work really well. And there's whole marketplaces where you can find these smaller influencers who you don't have to pay a ton of money to, who will absolutely do that for you. I know that TikTok has a marketplace like that, and so does Instagram now too.
A lot of people ask me, should I display my service pricing on my website? And most of the time, the answer is a solid hell no.
I already don't like this.
But why is that? Here's the thing, if you're running a service-based business and you show people your pricing straight off the bat, then you're instantly making the entire conversation all about price. Customers will straight away start looking around for the cheapest possible rate and comparing your price against your competitor's price.
That is such an assumption and not even necessarily true.
And unless you're the cheapest in town all the time, you probably won't win the job.
Here's the thing though, not everyone is looking for the cheapest price. Some people are, and if you're expensive, you actually want to push those bargain shoppers away. You think you're just gonna magically talk someone who can't afford to pay your premium prices into affording it?
But if they have to call you to get your pricing, that's where the magic actually happens.
Okay, he does think that. This is the pushback I get all the time, including from my own stepmom, by the way. People think that if you gatekeep your pricing, that they're gonna wanna get on the phone with you to find it out. The problem is 96% of today's website visits aren't anywhere near ready, not just to buy, but they're not ready for that conversation yet. And they won't call you, and they won't remember you when they are ready. They will remember the business that gave them their prices though.
So keep your pricing off your website and change the conversation from price to value.
Exactly, change the conversation. So part of putting your pricing on your website is about giving context to it. Tell them why you charge what you do and let them self-select if they want to pay more for a higher level of service. And if they don't, now you don't have to waste your time on sales calls that don't go anywhere. Not to mention, people are looking for prices on your website, so be the business that helps them out and is transparent about it. Back when I was doing client work, I didn't consider any lead qualified until I knew that they had seen my pricing page. And then after that, if they still wanted to talk, I knew I'd have a much easier time closing that deal.
Short form vertical video content is the way to go. If you can master content creation and short form video making, it doesn't matter what you decide to do online, you can make so much money. Focus on TikTok first, create content for TikTok that will perform well on TikTok, then you can disperse that content to all other platforms.
Okay, so I half agree with this, but not really. So while I do think that short form video is great for, grabbing attention, it doesn't do the best job at converting that attention into anything more serious. And let's be honest, the days of putting out short videos and then just automatically getting millions of views, those days are over. So rather than concentrating on short videos, I would personally concentrate on longer, YouTube classic videos that let people go a little bit deeper with you, and then use an AI tool like Opus Clip to find the best bits to just chop out and then repurpose them into shorts. That way you get the quick attention grabs, but you also get the deeper connection that you can really only get with those longer videos.
How I advertise my small business. Made it to Walmart. Doesn't know where to place it. Camouflage.
Okay, this is just silly, but don't do that. A, the store's probably just gonna toss them. B, it's not a great look for your business. It kind of makes you look desperate for clients. And there are just literally 100 better ways of getting your name out there. Let's see if this next clip is one of those ways.
Now I'm going to show you 2 hacks for local SEO that you guys can do, and it's completely free. And these are going to help you begin to rank higher on Google search. First one is finding local business citations.
Okay, yeah, local SEO would be a much better way to get seen than just dropping business cards on tampon boxes at Walmart.
Citation is just getting your name, address, phone number, and website on another website like Yelp, Yellow Pages, Squarespace, and more. Some of them are going to be free, some of them are going to be paid, but they will be worth it as it's going to be a strong local backlink.
Yeah, citations like this are still a relevant ranking factor, and they're fairly easy to do. But the problem is it's kind of considered, just the bare minimum of local SEO these days, meaning you have to do more than that if you want to outrank your competition. So let's see, sounds like he's got more here. Let's see what else he's got.
And then the second strategy is to get niche, relevant blog comment backlinks. Go into Google and put in leave a reply, and then whatever service or keyword you want to improve your rankings for. And make sure that leave a reply is in quotation marks. And now basically we're trying to find websites and blog posts that allow comments on them as well as a backlink.
Oh man, yeah, that's just going to be a huge waste of time. For any kind of SEO, you do want links from other sites back to yours, but the kinds of links he's talking about here aren't going to do much of anything for a couple reasons. First, just about any website that still allows comments has them set to what's called no follow, meaning if you did manage to get your link in there, it wouldn't pass on any linking power to your website. It's why if you were to link to your website on Facebook or on social media, it's not really considered a backlink. So secondly, if you were to add your own link to someone's comment section, it just feels like spam, and that website owner's almost always going to take it down. You'd be much better off just going after real links by offering to write guest posts for blogs in your niche, where they would then link back to your website in that author bio section.
If you're running Facebook ads, there are 3 things you absolutely need to be doing if you want to be profitable. 1, you need to be spending at least $30 to $50 a day. If you can't figure out a way to afford that, you probably shouldn't be running ads in the first place.
I kind of agree with that, actually. Facebook ads have gotten pretty expensive lately, especially when what you're selling isn't on the really high end price-wise.
2, you should always be using conversion objectives like leads or sales. Otherwise, you're really just wasting your money.
Okay, so this is some really common advice that definitely used to be true, but I can't really 100% get behind it anymore. So here's the thing. Yes, if you want Facebook to optimize your ads for conversions, that would be the best objective, on paper at least. But like I said, ad costs have been going higher and higher, pretty much moving the goalposts for how profitable your ads can really ever be. And what I've been hearing from a lot of Facebook ad experts more and more lately is that if you were to back off of that conversion objective to more of a traffic objective, you can actually get results for like 10 to 20 times cheaper. Now bear in mind, and this is the catch-22, the results aren't necessarily as good, but when it's the difference between being profitable or not, conversion ads just aren't affordable for smaller businesses anymore. Plus, there's a huge reason to run more of those like awareness style campaigns that has nothing to do with short-term conversions. You want to just put a few bucks a day behind ads that push out your content like videos or articles to warm up those cold audiences that you can then retarget later.
I have got to cool it with ChatGPT. I can spot a ChatGPT caption a mile away. They all look exactly the same. They are worded exactly the same. And to be honest with you, they are not going to convert. All ChatGPT captions sound like a 30-second infomercial. ChatGPT captions are meant for a wide audience. They are not made specifically for your ideal target audience, your target audience pain points, your target audience desires.
This is such a common misconception that's so easy to fix. So she is a little bit right that your standard ChatGPT written stuff, she's talking specifically about social captions here, but this applies to every kind of content that it can create. So the way it writes on its own is not the best, right? But it's so easy to just train it up on your own style and specifically tell it who your audience is and even let it help you figure out their pain points so that all that's in there. And I know that a lot of people out there love to hate on ChatGPT, but the truth is, it's an amazing tool that can help you get more done and be more efficient in your business. So the takeaway shouldn't be to stop using it altogether, or you're gonna quickly become obsolete. So it's much better to start using it in a smarter way to get more out of it so that you can actually get ahead.
So one sentence will change how you use ChatGPT forever. So here's what you're gonna write in ChatGPT. You're gonna say, in a minute, I'm going to ask you to write copy for my business. This includes sales email, blog posts, Instagram captions, TikTok idea, whatever it is that you need. And here's the question that will change everything. So I want you to ask me 15 to 20 questions to better understand my customers, my business, my audience, my values, and my tone of voice. Within seconds, ChatGPT is going to ask you all of these questions to help you purposefully and intentionally reach the people you actually want to reach and have your tone of voice without sounding like a robot.
That is such a smart move. It basically lets you take a more passive approach where ChatGPT can steer the ship to where you want to go. And all you need to do is just answer some questions it gives you. I love this.
ChatGPT knows you now. Come back months later requesting the same information because it always remembers who you are.
Okay, so that's where she loses me a little bit. That part's not actually true, at least not by default. So ChatGPT doesn't remember information it got from you in previous chats unless you go back to the same chat. So I can't have a session where it learns all about me and my business needs, then start a new chat weeks later and expect it to remember all that. But there actually is a new feature. If you go over to custom instructions, you can actually give it all the background on your business and your audience, as well as your tone of voice and your overall style. And when you put it in there, it will remember it from chat to chat. So pretty cool.
This is the $0 website. And when I say zero, I actually mean zero setup cost and zero running cost. And it will look highly professional like this website right here. So what you normally need for a website is a domain, hosting, and maybe a designer. Usually you have to buy a domain and buy hosting for WordPress to work. But when you go to this link right here, you can actually register and create a subpage at WordPress directly. Now all you have to do is find a fitting theme and include your content.
Yeah, don't do this. This is one of those cases where free actually costs you a lot. So what he's talking about is a website that you set up on a free hosting plan and it's hosted on WordPress.com. So the issue here is that then the website address that you have to tell people to go to is going to be something like, yourbusinessname.wordpress.com, which is hard for people to remember. Plus, you can't even add plugins and you can't really control things like the content blocks and your content in general as well as you could if you just got a $3 a month hosting plan. It is definitely not worth giving all that up to save $3 a month. That's just the minimum cost of doing business.
3 reasons you need to start a YouTube channel in the new year. If you already have a business, YouTube is kind of like a cheat code, because typically if you get like 1,000 views on a video on YouTube, you're not gonna make a lot of money. But if you can sell a product or service to that 1,000 people, you can make some serious money.
Okay, so this is actually what I would say is the smartest marketing advice of not only this year, but for the next 10 years or more. I mean, I'm not even kidding. If you're not seriously considering putting your business on YouTube, you need to start thinking about it. It is 100% responsible for 10xing my business profits over the past 5 years or so, just because it builds so much trust between me and my audience that then goes on to buy things like, consulting packages or my paid program. And when I was still offering full service, every new client that I talked to was pre-sold on me because they had seen, 5, 10 of my videos already, which meant that I didn't have to work nearly as hard to close them. And then that led to me being able to dramatically increase my prices too. But maybe you feel like, nobody would want to watch a business like yours on YouTube. The thing is though, there's an art to creating business videos that absolutely blow up and can get you clients on demand. And I've got the recipe for that in this video. So click here and I'll show you exactly what to do if you want to get all the benefits that video can get for you without the pain of watching them flop. So I'll see you over here in just a second.